Hello, hello. Welcome to our new updates. I'm Alex, founder and CEO here at Cephable. Excited to talk through a whole bunch of stuff that came out with our desktop version. So for Mac and for Windows, for version 3.2.0. I've got the release notes up because we're gonna go through a whole bunch of things. But just to kind of recap where we were from the last update and the last stream I did talking about those new updates, where we introduced Cephable Plus, which had features like intelligent dictation, had the intelligent voice commands, had more of the app controls, as a nice in between, Cephable Professional, our big flagship with all the AI and everything else. And then Cephable Basic, our free version, which actually is now called Cephable Basic, if you had known it before, Cephable Personal, because people also personally use Plus and Professional too. So it felt like a more appropriate way to sort of separate the three. But there's stuff I'm going to show you today, just kind of give you a quick run through of like the new features, what to look out for. I want to show you some cool preview stuff that's not out yet, but that you might be able to get access to. That we've got some early access forms that I'm going to share. I'll make sure they're posted in the chat and stuff when we get into it. And then I'm going to show you just different ways to use some of these new features in like more real world scenarios too. But just to kind of give you the quick view of the release notes, this came out a little over a week ago with 3.2.0. It introduced new onboarding flows and feature cards, which is a sort of fundamental new ways for us to be able to show and have you actually try new features out in a more interactive way. It's a foundational piece that we're going to be building on as we continue to make onboarding and learning how to use Cephable and an easier way to sort of interact with it and get comfortable with it, instead of what we've previously done and still do a little bit too much of just sending you right in and be like, here are all the tools, good luck, figure it out. Now we've got a much easier way to sort of help you learn how to do it. A couple other things too, smaller I guess, although they've been big requests over time. We've got some new updates in the main window, so you're like your dashboard view. We've got a new easier to select mic drop down. So if you need to switch which microphone you're using for voice controls or for dictation, you can do that now. And then we also have Magic Link login, which we know makes it quite a bit easier for folks that don't want to either remember passwords or have a hard time typing in their passwords to be able to sign in. We'll send you a link to your email. You can click it and it will then sign you into the app too. So I'll show you all that stuff as well. But first, I want to say hi to everyone in chat. I'm seeing some friendlies here. Hey, Mare. Hey, Hogan. Vesture, good to see you all. I definitely love seeing you all in chat. I'm going to have some fun questions for you guys as we get into some of the more AI things that we're bringing out in preview with this new 3.2.0. But without further ado, let me first of all take you to our new website, which I'm on the release notes for, because one of the biggest new features that we have around onboarding and learning how to use the platform is where you actually start in the first place, which is now much easier to do from the website. So before, you would have to go in, find the download link, which also wasn't necessarily in the most obvious spot. Then you would have to go in and download the app, install it, then create your account, and then maybe start a trial if you wanted to try something else or you were stuck in sort of the basic mode. We've got a lot of easier ways to do it. So first of all, if you want to just purchase one of the premium versions of Cephal, whether it's Plus or Professional, you can actually do that directly from the website now. So we've got a nice little way to separate if you're paying monthly versus if you're paying yearly and you want the discount. And then for Plus, you can just buy it directly here. For Professional, you'll be able to select the number of users you need, including just for yourself. But then if you wanted to sort of expand to more team members, and then of course, if you're one of our enterprise partners, you get all the other stuff. You'll talk to us. We'll get you all set up and manage it through whatever other purchasing options you need. So super easy to do that. But you'll also notice you can create a basic account for free. And we have this gigantic Get Started for Free button here, which will take you to a page to create your account. So you just fill out the information, you click sign up, and then it takes you to the download page, and then you'll sign in with your account once you get there, once you have it installed. Also, if you've already had an account, there's a quick button here to just go to the download page, which will take you right here. Much simpler download page to get the right app version you need between Mac, Windows. In the case here where I'm on a PC, I've got QR codes to go to iOS and Android, so that'll take you to the App Store and the Google Play Store as well. So a lot easier now to just get started and jump in. But also, anyone who is creating an account with Cephable, you follow this get started process, we're actually going to automatically give you Cephable Plus for 7 days. So you don't have to go fill out the trial form anymore. You're just going to get Plus for 7 days to try it out, see if it makes sense for you, and then you can continue using Plus. Or if you don't need all the features and you just want to downgrade to Basic, let the trial run out and you're cool with Cephable Basic. So let's go ahead now and talk about the actual app itself and some of the new features. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. Let me make this a bit bigger too. So I'll show you the magic link sign in here. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in with one of my professional demo ones. So this is the one that we made actually on the last stream together. So I can go ahead and click continue. I can sign in with my password. If I have single sign-on with my corporate account, I can do it here, or I can sign in with Magic Link where I've got my email ready to go. It's going to send me a Magic Link. I got to go find that in my email on my other screen here, and I'll pop open the email so you can see it. I've got a little link here. I can click to sign in. It's going to open the browser, redirect to open the app, and now I should be good to go once it's done loading, and assuming that this is not going to get in the way. There we go. Cool. So now I'm signed in. I'll go ahead and minimize the browser again. So that's the Magic Link sign in. Anyone who has an account can do that. Also, it'll automatically verify your email if you do that. So if you created your account and you got here and it said, hey, please verify your email, we send you an email to verify it. If you do Magic Link sign in, it'll automatically do that as well. So yes, let's go ahead now and I'll quickly show you some of the other things that we've got. I want to make sure I'm not missing all the cool things I wanted to show you. So I want to show you the new onboarding cards. Let me come back in here. Because I've already onboarded onto this account, I'm not getting them right up front. But you'll notice there's a few different ways where I can get to support and follow these flows. On pages where there is a relevant flow that you can follow, there's this new little question mark button. So in this case, it'll give me an overview of Cephable. This is the interactive demo that you see when you come in for the first time. So you can skip the tour just like how you could skip the onboarding beforehand, or you can start the tour. And so it'll take you through these sort of step-by-steps, help you understand things like the dashboard, understand different connections. So the current device that you're on, in this case, I'm on my blue Surface, but I can see all my other devices that are available to me that I can interact with later. I can then get sent over to the panel where I get to learn about how the panel works, learn about using the microphone, learn about my app controls. Oh my gosh, I just realized I'm not sharing my screen to you guys. You're still just seeing me. That's hilarious. Thanks, Mary. Just noticed that. Wow, look at that. There's a tour. So I can go ahead and click next. That's embarrassing. Thanks, guys. I can then sort of shuffle through, learn about my global controls, learn about intelligent tasks, learn about camera controls, and then, of course, learn about support where I can go finish and do these other types of tours. For these other tours, now I can see, again, that same overview one that we just did. But we also can see things like voice controls and dictation. So if I wanted to learn and actually try to interact with voice controls, I can start that tour. It'll automatically turn on my microphone. It gives me the prompt to say a type of command like open Spotify or open Word. And then it'll tell me, how I can go find those different app controls for what I just opened up, and I'm good to go. And basically the same thing for dictation. So you can follow these at any time from the support section in the bottom left. Whether you're on the Basic, Plus, or Professional, you'll have all these different feature cards that you can get to at any point. So definitely make sure to check those out. And if it's your first time using Cephable, you'll see the overview tour, which will take you to the dashboard like I had started showing before I realized that my face was covering it. Although it's a nice little step-by-step guide anyway. So you can skip it at any point. You're good to go. Okay. Now that you can actually see my screen, wanted to show you a few other things. You might notice that while my voice controls are running here, I'm currently using my microphone. It's the same one that you're hearing me through, but I can also switch very quickly which microphone I'm using. So let's say, for example, I wanted to use the microphone that's on my camera. Now it's using my camera built-in microphone. If I wanted to switch to use my laptop built-in microphone, I can switch to that, which is my Qualcomm R microphone array, and now it's using the one over here. So depending on what your setup is, if you have multiple microphones, you can more easily jump around and switch them in figuring out the right preferences that you have. But yeah, those are some of the the sort of new features that have come out that are available to everyone. Now I want to sort of show you some of the things that are in preview that you can try today. Namely, you might notice that I've got this new transcribe audio task that's in my intelligent task. I'm going to turn off the microphone here as I don't need it for right now. So in my tasks, I have this transcribe audio, which you can enable as an experimental feature on your account. Right now, I believe it's only available to pro users to try out, but it is in an experimental sort of state because we're going to be doing a whole bunch of other stuff around long form audio. But if you want to try it, let me show you where to do that first, and I'll show you how it works. So you can go into your account settings, just like where all of the other experimental things are when they're available, and you can flip this switch to enable the file transcriber in the panel. Once you save this, you have to restart the app, and then it's there. If you turn it off, you'll have to restart the app to make it go away. But what I can do from this task is pretty cool. I can either provide a URL to an audio file or a video file, or I can pick a local file for my computer and ask Cephable to transcribe it. This is using the same speech recognition model that the intelligent dictation one does. So all of the automatic formatting, better speaker ID, proper nouns, acronyms, grammar, all that stuff. So whether you're taking like a recording and you need to just get a transcription to upload it with your recording, or you're trying to take notes from something that was recorded before, you can give it any audio or video file, and Cephable will transcribe it. So let me show you real quick. I'm just going to pick a random video that I have for a developer demo and click transcribe. Now, unlike a lot of other transcription tools, and just like all of other AI features that Cephable has, this is running entirely offline. So I don't need to be worried about this video file or this audio file I'm uploading being sent to a cloud, being stored somewhere. It's just using it entirely from my PC. And so I can comfortably use any audio, any video file, any text that might be relevant in order to create the transcription. So you can see from this video, it spit out all the stuff and everything that I was saying. I can quickly copy this text as well and then use it however I want to. Maybe I want to take that text and then bring it over to a generate task to generate a summary into my notes, or maybe I want to take it and rewrite it into different like bullet point formats, or maybe I want to take that transcript and then translate it to other languages. You can do all of that by just copying the text from the transcript, bringing it into these other tasks, and you're good to go. Now, in order for us to make this happen, we had to extend what we use for our dictation model into a much larger context, because it's not that I'm like I do when I'm dictating, where I'm saying something and then I pause and then Cephable types like we usually see. It needs to take long form audio. So because of that, our dictation feature now also supports a longer speech window. In theory, it's unlimited. At this point, like now the limit is really just based off of your computer. But before this, it was 30 seconds. So if you kept talking and talking and talking without taking pauses like I do all the time and like I am right now, then Cephable would automatically stop and write whatever you had said up to the 30 seconds and then keep going. So there was situations where maybe you run in because the 30 seconds hit and you're in like the middle of a sentence that could maybe be another sentence, and it got kind of weird. Well, now that window requirement is gone. You can just keep talking, and then when you're finally done, it'll take all that audio and transcribe it for you, which is pretty sweet. And so that was a little side benefit that we got out of the updates we made in order to create the transcribe audio. Now, that's a preview feature. Again, you can turn it on in your account settings. One last preview feature I want to show before I sort of show you how all these different things come together in a few different use cases is a preview release that we have for our Cephable agent with MCP, our Model Context Protocol integrations. All the technical jargon aside, what this is our ability to have other AI tools talk to Cephable so that you can do more complex things. For example, if you use something like Microsoft Copilot or ChatGPT or Gemini, then you'd be able to actually use those AI apps and those AI tools to basically tell Cephable to do things. For example, like we use Microsoft 365 Copilot here at Cephable for a lot of our work too. And I might want to be able to like take context from my SharePoint that Copilot knows, but then use it in an on-device setting the way that Cephable knows. And so those are the types of things that we're starting to enable. And in its preview state, You can use the Cephable agent to do things like open up apps, type in text that might be generated by the AI model. You'd be able to run actions based off of the current set of app controls you have. And basically, Cephable's AI and these other AI tools can talk to each other. So one of the things I'm going to do is, for folks who are interested, as I'm sharing this, I want to, oops, that's not the browser window I want. That's the demo I'm going to show you later. Is I'm going to give you a link that you can use in chat here. Maybe, unless it disappeared from my clipboard for some reason, and I'll have to go get it from another spot. Copy this. Put it in chat. Cool. So you can fill out that form to request early access to the feature. The main things that I'm curious to learn, and the team's curious to learn from folks who are interested in trying it, is like which AI tools you want to be able to integrate with Cephable. What are the types of use cases you're interested in exploring? And then we can kind of go from there. And of course, your contact info, so we can actually add your account to have access to it and send you details on it. But let me show you like a quick preview demo of it. So I had mentioned we use M365 Copilot. So I'm going to pull open my M365 Copilot app over here, and I'm signed into my account. And now I've already linked the Cephable agent to my M365 Copilot. When you do it for the first time, depending on what AI tool you're using, you're going to be able to link your account. It'll open up the browser the same way that you sign into the Cephable app. So what I can do here from Copilot is I can actually talk directly to Cephable. So I'm just using the @ and then Cephable desktop agent. And now I can do a lot of the same things that I might directly within Cephable. And I'll show you them in like broken up steps. But the cool thing about this is you can actually do it in very complex steps. So let's say, for example, I'm going to ask Copilot to do something like open Word. And what it's going to do is go talk to Cephable. Cephable is going to talk back down to the app, and you can see that it's trying to open up Word, or tried to open up something else. Looks like whiteboard. Let me try maybe something else. Open Edge. Will the longer window help with pauses in speech, I'm assuming? Yeah, it should. You should be able to pause and keep continuing to talk, and it'll start to basically figure out the grammar automatically based off of the actual subject of what you're saying. So give it a shot with the intelligent dictation feature turned on, and see if it's working better for you. And of course, let us know how it is working for you, as we're definitely curious to know. Okay, well, what it did do, and you didn't see over here, is it did actually open a new Edge browser. Just did it on my other window, even though it said it didn't because it didn't show up. But now I can do things like, let's say, for example, I'm going to go to Stack Edits, my go-to Markdown editor, and then I'm going to tell Copilot, which usually can't type into other applications that aren't within the Microsoft suite, that I need it to go write something. So I'll use actually the example that I did in the last demo when I was using our own generate text to generate into Stack Edit, but I'll ask Copilot to do it instead. So I'll say type a product requirements document template for an AI software platform. We'll see how Copilot handles it. So now I'm stepping away. I'm focused in the Stack Edit app. Cephable knows that I'm in Stack Edit. It knows that I'm in the browser. Oops, looks like it's running a whole bunch of weird keyboard shortcuts and started typing stuff. And now Edge is crashing, so that's fun. What a fun little demo. Let me try that again. It started typing it, and then it looked like it decided to do something else there. So I'm going to try to do this and say using Markdown. See if that does a better job without trying to run all of these random keyboard shortcuts that it decided to do. Nope, it's deciding to continuously open tabs. Thanks, Copilot. Well, that's not fun because I literally just tested this demo. And again, it's in early preview, but what should be happening is Copilot should be telling Cephable to type whatever it wants to generate, and then Cephable is just doing the typing into the app. So Cephable's not having to come up with the content the same way if I come into here and generate text, and I want to do something like a product, actually I'll literally just copy and paste this, if I do this from the Cephable side of things, once it's done preparing itself, it's not using Cephable to generate the text. It's using Copilot to generate the text and then using Cephable to actually communicate into these other apps. So now that I'm sitting here and it's using just Cephable and I'm not using Copilot, it's able to type right away. But in the cases where, one, you're already using an AI like Copilot or ChatGPT or Gemini or Anthropic, you can make use of those longer form and longer context AI tools and then have it be able to talk to Cephable. I just seem to be running into issues with whatever it's not liking when using it in Copilot today. But we have support for this not just for Copilot M365. We also have support for it with GitHub Copilot. So for the developers out there, you can do things like ask Cephable to write documentation into Word or into your ticket management platform using GitHub Copilot, which can then take the context of your entire code base, which is the stuff that Cephable's not yet doing. But speaking of the developer side, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of these different use cases of pulling all these different tools together in a more like complete way that kind of shows all these things, working together here. So while I'm doing that, please fill out the form if you're interested in actually trying out the MCP stuff, either with Copilot or ChatGPT or Gemini. There's a section in there where you can sort of tell us which AI tools you're using and you'd want to try it out with. And hopefully you'll have a better experience than I just did trying to do with Copilot there, because it's in its early stages and we want to be able to continue to iterate with you all. All right, let me show you some of this stuff together. I'm going to show you a couple actions here across different apps, from using text generation, rewrite, and translate, and all of these different app actions. This is the last time on the stream I'd sort of shown you like the raw stuff, like the sample I just did there where we generated a document, but I didn't show you how it actually comes together in different use cases. So I'm taking two use cases that are the most relevant for me because I work in software and I write code, and I also do a lot of outreach and conversations and sales support stuff. And so I kind of want to show you two different scenarios that kind of represent those. So the first thing I want to do is I've got a fun little demo environment here as if I'm a salesperson and I need to be able to send a message to someone that I have as a contact here. So I'm in my made up CRM for an insurance agency, and I've got all sorts of different details here about different contacts I'm talking to. So I'm going to take, for example, this Sarah Johnson, and I need to send her an email. So I can click a button to send an email. What that did is it opened up my Outlook with a new email to that person. That's none of the Cephable stuff. But one of the common things that we see people using things like quick actions for is templated content. So let me go ahead and actually pop open my quick actions where I'm in Outlook. So I have my little template here where I can click lead outreach template. And now just clicking that one button, Cephable went and typed in my little insurance sales template, and I can come in and basically finish the rest and say things like, hi, Sarah. But not just for creating these templated pieces of content, I can also now iterate on this and change it with Cephable's AI tools. So I'm going to go ahead and close the quick action buttons. And I'm going to go to translate, because one of the things that I do a lot is we work with a lot of our international partners, and I need to be able to also speak to them in the languages that they read and write best, and then translate content they send to me back into English, which is the only language I can read and write. So instead of having to copy this entire email, go to like a Google Translate or something like that, I'll even get rid of my actual signature here. I need to be able to translate it directly in the email client. So instead, all I have to do is highlight the text like I have here, and then tell Cephable that I want to translate this. So let's say I want to translate this into Spanish. I click generate, Cephable comes back over into the email. It starts processing all the content that's here, and then it's going to actually translate it directly in the email client without having to go out to a browser, fill out the information, and then come back. So it's typing directly where I had previously typed my content, keeping the exact same structure and details, but now writing it, of course, in Spanish for me to be able to then go ahead and send it. And not just in this one giant text field, I still need to translate the subject as well. So let me make sure I go do that. So I can do the exact same thing. I'm going to go ahead and scroll up here, select the subject, and tell Cephable to translate that too. So it's going to go ahead and re-prepare the model. which we are working on ways to make this a bit faster so that it's always ready to go if you're doing these tasks over and over again. Then it's going to jump back in to my Outlook window here and translate it directly into the subject area too. So just like how I did in my entire email body, translated the exact same thing in the subject. And I can do that anywhere, not just in Outlook because we have Outlook controls, but anywhere that I want to. So some really cool use cases of combinations of quick actions. So I can do things like email templates, but also allowing me to be able to generate text, translate text, things like that. Now, let me show you a similar sort of thing where I'm kind of combining these different use cases together as a developer. So same thing, I'm at my imaginary insurance company here. I'm not as much worried about email templates as much as I'm worried about writing code that works. So I'm going to go ahead and look at one of these tickets that's been assigned to me where I need to develop a quote generation system for auto insurance policies. And I'm going to take this text and this requirement, and just like how Cephable could type into Outlook, it can also type into any of these other fields. So I'm going to actually ask Cephable to start generating some samples of how it might write this. So I'll say like stub out the TypeScript functions for this feature requirement and use Markdown and comments to explain what it will do. And then I'm just going to paste the requirements and go ahead and have it generate it directly into my comment box in the browser. So I don't have to go into my code base and start writing it and stub it out. I can start here. I can write anywhere. And Cephable really can write anywhere as it's generating this text. I, of course, can then take this, actually bring it over to my code editor and run some of my other shortcuts and things too. But I'm going to let it actually stub out this entire piece of Markdown documentation because I want to communicate it to my team like, hey, this is what I'm going to be implementing. Does this sound right? And once it's done writing out the whole thing, because it's a pretty complex requirement, I'll show you how we can go into the code base and use things like quick actions or voice commands to automate things as well. So I can go ahead and add a comment. And of course, my made up thing has broken UI. This isn't Cephable. This is like this random browser app. But I've got my entire Markdown with stubbed out things, including stubbed out test examples based off the requirements that were right there. So pretty sweet stuff. Now, of course, I can actually jump into my code editor and do the same thing here. I can use those rewrite, translate features. Like maybe I have code that's written in Java and I need to have it translated into TypeScript, or I have it written in Python and I want to translate it into TypeScript. You can use the translate feature for that too, but you can also use rewriting and shortcuts and commands. So I can do things like highlight pieces of text, ask Cephable to rewrite it, maybe add more insurance items here. I can ask it to generate new code the same way that it just did into that comment box. It can generate it directly into my code editor. And then I can also use my quick action buttons for things like shortcuts that I might use or voice commands. So for example, I think I have a voice command set up for this. Let me see. Run it. So I gave the voice command of run it, and it actually just ran my dev script that I need to actually open up the app. And if I click it, I'll turn off my microphone. It's loading the actual fake app that I was building, my little life insurance app. So even those little shortcuts and tools, whether it's a voice command or a quick action button or generating text, rewriting text, translating it, all these different pieces and parts come together at the right time just to make these things a little bit faster to do and save me the time of having to type everything out or having to come up with all the different ideas or having to take text from one application, put it into another, translate it, bring it back over. I want to just stay in the applications that I need to use, from my ticket editing tool where I need to manage my tasks, to my code editor, to my CRM, to my email client. And instead, Cephable is just ready to go in the background to execute these different types of tasks. So some of the different things that have come together in our new version 3.2, and hopefully you all have a fun time trying it out. Just kind of recap all the new stuff. We have automatic access to Cephable Plus for any new user. We have the easier microphone switching now that you can use to switch between any different microphones for your voice commands and dictation. We have our preview of transcribe audio, which you can enable in your count settings to try it out and then use those transcribed files and to generate, rewrite, and translate tasks. We have our new onboarding, which makes it easier to get started and learn about all the places that you need to be focused on when using Cephable. And then we have those feature cards where you can go through and check out the flows at any point from the support section here, which has a whole bunch of new stuff, and we'll continue to get more. And then we have our preview of our new MCP service, which allows us to integrate directly into other applications, other AI applications, and have them be able to talk to Cephable. So again, if you're interested in getting early access to this to try it out, fill out the form that was linked in chat. You just give us your information, the different assistants that and AI tools you might want to use, and then just tell us what you want to try. And we'll go through those lists of people that are requesting access and help you get set up and trying it out in its sort of early stages as far as we can. But we definitely want to know which tools are you the most interested in using, so we can focus on building better support, so that the different AI tools between Copilot or ChatGPT or Claude or Agentforce know how to talk to Cephable's AI too. So obviously that was a lot in 30 minutes. I can stay on the stream a little bit longer if folks have other questions that they want to ask, and we can jump around and share a whole bunch of different things. I'm scrolling through to make sure I didn't miss anything else other than Mayor's original ask here. I'd love to see someone using it in Colorado. Actually, I don't know if we have folks that would demo it personally in Colorado. Julia might know that though. If there is anyone else here in Colorado, definitely chime in. Any other questions people have? Use case you want to see? ChatGPT premium subscriptions, or do you have to use APIs? That's a good question. I actually don't know. I don't use ChatGPT very much. I'm mostly a Copilot kind of guy, and Claude. But do you need ChatGPT to premium to use agents? Because in that case, you might. Okay, agent mode should be needed. Do you need it for agent mode though? That is the question. Yeah, you might. It would show up basically as one of these tool sets, by the way, when we do have it set up. So if you have it in agent mode, you'd see a Cephable switch that you'd be able to turn on once you get set up. But I think you might need one of the premium versions. Hogan, I hope you have ChatGPT Premium. You might be able to do it with the APIs too. What other AI tools are everyone using, if other than Cephable? I'm assuming for most of the people being in the stream and learning about the new features. Are you using ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Copilot? Like, what are this other AI tools that you're using? What are we missing from this list as well that you'd be interested in seeing if Cephable could be a part of integrating into? Maybe you're using in your day-to-day. Definitely love to know that. And if not in chat today, definitely find us in our Discord. I will actually, Julia, if you're there, can you put the Discord link in the chat? Actually, I can get it from here. Let me go ahead and open this, grab that, and I will put this in the chat, because this is a great place to ask people other questions if you have it, but also tell us there what other AI tools you want to be integrating into, so that we can have Cephable do more stuff when you're doing all of your other AI stuff. Sweet. Well, that's going to probably do it for this stream. A lot of cool new stuff in version 3.2. We've got even more cool stuff coming in version 3.3, which I believe we're targeting to get out to everyone either later this month or in September. More AI features, continuing to build with folks who are in this early access program for our MCP integrations or our AI integrations, as well as deeper app interactions that you'll be able to do. And then even more easier onboarding that we're excited to bring you all. So stay tuned for that. Join us in the Discord if you have other questions. We're always active there. And then check out the forum for early access to the Cephable AI agent features. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks, everyone.